Summer is a great time of year, but when temperatures rise, your health could be at risk. That was the case for this athlete. Let's have a look.
My name is Shane. I'm 20 years old, and I've been playing football since I was a freshman in high school. I'm now a junior in college, and last summer, temperatures during practice reached over 105 degrees. I suffered from a heat stroke, after which I was taken to the hospital, where I was in a coma for 2 days. While I was in the coma, doctors told me that some of my organs began to fail. I'm much better now, and even practicing again, but I still take extra precautions when it's very hot outside. You have to have respect for that sun.
We are joined by Dr. Freda Lewis-Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer, to talk about steps you can take to be safe when it gets hot outside.
Exercising outside in extreme heat can put you at risk for heat-related illnesses, but also infants, young children, the elderly, people who are socially isolated or who have reduced mobility are at risk as well. And certain medications and some medical conditions may be risk factors as well. And of course, don't forget, if you're going to be outside working, you have to take the heat into account, because heat stroke is rare, but it is really dangerous.
It can be really, really dangerous. So heat stroke, some people call it sunstroke. It can occur when your body loses its ability to regulate your internal temperature. As the temperature inside our body climbs, heat stroke can cause damage to your brain, other vital organs, permanent disability, in extreme cases, even death. That's why it's so important to recognize the warning signs of a heat stroke. Some of them are your body temperature over 104 degrees, confusion, weakness, feeling faint, fast breathing, a fast heart rate. All these things could be symptoms and signs.
And if you have those symptoms and signs, or someone with you has those, it is time to dial 911. Immediately. This is an emergency. Then you want to move the person into a cool place inside if you can, with air conditioning if possible, and then start to work to bring the body temperature down. You can use cool compresses, ice packs to the back of the neck, but with heat stroke, you don't want to give fluids, because in heat stroke, you can have altered consciousness, and that means that fluids can be a choking hazard.
Heat exhaustion is a term and a medical condition that is actually more common than heat stroke. Not quite as serious. Symptoms can be less severe, fatigue, maybe cramps, but it can still be dangerous. Heat exhaustion can develop over several days of exposure to high temperatures and not getting enough fluids. People with heat exhaustion, they're usually very thirsty, sweating profusely. They may even have pale skin. Now's
when you want to drink some water. And as with heat stroke, you want to move the person to a cool place, and you want to get working on lowering that body temperature. But if the person isn't responding quickly to those measures, this is another point where you want to dial 911, because heat exhaustion can progress to heat stroke. Now, why does this happen at all? It means that our body cannot use sweating alone to control our body temperature, or that the body is sorely in need of hydration or electrolytes like potassium or salt.
When the body loses too much salt during sweating, painful muscle spasms can occur, and these could be a warning sign. Rest, cool down, stretch, and massage the affected muscle, but also make sure you're replenishing electrolytes, staying hydrated. If the cramps continue longer than an hour, or if you're concerned, obviously touch base with your doctor.
Absolutely. So how do we prevent all of this? First of all, stay cool. And we try to remind people, don't use a fan as your primary cooling device, because sometimes that's just moving hot air around and it isn't really cooling you down. The second thing is, if any of these symptoms show up, immediately you want to start working on cooling your body down. And then last but not least is never, ever leave anyone or any pet in a closed parked vehicle.
But the most important tip is to stay hydrated. Your body loses fluids through sweat when it's hot outside, but you don't want to wait until you're thirsty. And the other big thing, avoid alcohol. And it also helps to know the weather forecast. So read the weather forecast before you go out and exercise. If it's hot outside, plan activities for early morning or later in the afternoon.
And you know, it's important to remember, anyone and everyone is susceptible to heat-related illnesses. So for more information on beating the heat and staying healthy and safe this summer, go to gethealthystayhealthy.com. And of course, while you're there, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter.
Dr. Freda, thank you so much.
Thank you.